Timorese worker declared missing in Australia. New maternal care facility launched in Manufai. Thai community celebrates Delhi's first Songkran Festival. Welcome back to RTTL World News. I'm Jerry Madeira. A Timorese man has been declared missing after he was washed off work while fishing in Australia. A 31-year-old went missing from Emerald Beach in New South Wales on Monday, April 6. A formal multi-agency search was suspended after 3 days, with Australian authorities confirming his survival was unlikely.
A grieving family seeking closure. Timorese worker Joel Asa has been missing in Australia for almost 2 weeks. On Monday, the parents of the missing worker spoke to RTTL in Vikeke, requesting the government find their son's body.
I need the government to help me find him because he went to work twice there and entered the government system.
We feel sad because our son went to work not only for our family, but he went to work for the benefit of the whole state as well.
Joel was swept from rocks while fishing at Emerald Beach near Coffs Harbour in New South Wales with 2 Timorese friends.
They were telling us that he called out 8 times for help.
The ambassador of Timor-Leste to Australia, Ines Almeida, spoke with RTTL News from Canberra, confirming that a multi-agency water and land search was suspended after 3 days.
After 72 hours, the survivability of Joel was practically zero, taking into account the temperature of the water and the lack of, Joel didn't know how to swim as well.
Mr. Asa is now categorized as a missing person.
Nevertheless, even if they suspended, they do patrol every day. So they are on the lookout just in case that the body appears.
So sad because it's the first of all experiences that we found in Australia since we arrived in here. We have a friends who passed away in Australia as several people, but it is the history of missing person in the ocean is the first time.
Joel Asa was born in Vikeke and went to work in horticulture in Australia under the Pacific Australia Labour Mobility Scheme. He had been disengaged from the government program since 2024 and was living at Sandy Beach and working as a fruit picker at the time of his disappearance.
Although eventually he left the government system, I asked the state to find and see his work documents there, because I received various information about his death that makes my heart hurt.
Ms. Ines committed the Timorese embassy's support to Mr. Asa's family and friends despite him being disengaged from the government program.
He is still a Timorese, and the embassy does not discriminate against anybody who are Timorese.
A total of 7 Timorese workers have died in Australia since 2020, 4 of which were disengaged at the time of their deaths. The incident acts as a reminder for Timorese workers who do not know how to swim to act with caution around water.
Don't go fishing in the rocks, especially if you don't know how to swim. And even in the river, know how to swim, just don't go fishing.
Police will prepare a report for the state coroner, which may take up to 9 months. Vicky Madeira, RTTL World News.
Timor-Leste's development partners have committed to building and renovating 20 new basic emergency obstetric and newborn care (BEMOC) facilities across the country. On Monday, the United Nations Population Fund (UNFPA) the Japanese ambassador to Timor-Leste, and the Minister of Health inaugurated the second BEMOC Center in Fatuberliu, Manufahi, located approximately a 6-hour drive south of Delhi.
A new healthcare facility for pregnant mothers and newborns in rural Fatuberliu.
This BEMOC Center will help reduce delays in accessing quality care, reduce pressure on referral hospitals, and most importantly, will prevent maternal, newborn mortalities and morbidities.
The inauguration shows commitment to saving women and newborn babies' lives and ensures that local communities in Fatuberliu have access to basic care with good quality closer to their homes.
The center's rehabilitation cost $50,000.
Safe delivery of the pregnant woman is very important for the country and for the people of the Timor-Leste. We always attach great importance to the sector, and we are constructing this kind of the clinic for the pregnant women.
Under the project, Japan plans to establish 20 BEMOC facilities across the country by 2027. This initiative supports Timor-Leste's goal to reduce its maternal mortality rate from 195 to 70 per 100,000 live births by 2030. 23-year-old Marta Roselia Martins plans to give birth in the center in June.
I plan to give birth at this facility so that I can get help from midwives. Because if I give birth at home, there will be no professional help.
The first-time mother has been receiving medical care from midwives in the clinic during her pregnancy. Another pregnant mother, Maria da Costa Martins, also prepares to welcome her third baby in the next 2 months.
The midwife already advised me to come here to deliver my baby, and I will do exactly that.
31-year-old Maria gave birth to her 2 other children at the center, and she wants to do the same for her third baby. Despite progress in the last 2 decades, access to quality services remains a challenge for communities in rural areas like Fatuberliu.
Before the rehabilitation of this center, we didn't have enough equipment, so we often referred cases to the Same hospital.
Mr. Fernandez told RTTL that last year they transferred 5 pregnant mothers with complications to the municipal hospital.
Now we have the BEMOC Center and proper equipment, and we can ensure that our community here can come and get better service.
Doctors are calling for further investment in human resources.
We need training for our health professionals because now we only have 2 well-trained health workers, so that we can help each other to provide service to our people and help reduce maternal and newborn mortality rates.
The Timorese government and development partners promise to further invest in human resources and more facilities set up.
Our investments, including facility rehabilitation, equipment upgrades, and providing training for health professionals, are aimed at reducing maternal and newborn mortality and morbidity rates.
Yes, we are planning, specifically under this initiative, we are planning training for midwives for ultrasound techniques. And last year, towards the end of the year, in November, we had initial introductory short-term course, and now we are planning actually more skills building training.
A big step towards a healthier Timor-Leste, leaving no mother or child behind. Pauline Quintown, Lenialai, RTTL World News.
As of January this year, there were over 5,200 Timorese working in Australia as a part of the Pacific Australia Labour Mobility Scheme. While concerns over the treatment of seasonal workers in Australia continue, the Timorese Embassy plays an active role in monitoring conditions and supporting its citizens under the scheme. Timor-Leste's ambassador to Australia, Ines Maria de Almeida, joined RTTL World News reporter Zegedes from Canberra to outline how the embassy works with both workers and authorities to address exploitation and ensure Timorese workers understand their rights.
What role does the Timorese Embassy play in protecting Timorese workers under the PALM scheme in Australia?
In terms of the embassy, in terms of the representative of the Timorese here in Australia, what we do is we go out and visit the workers and talk to them, not only to the workers, but we also talk to the employers regarding the working condition, and we also go and visit the place, for example, the accommodation, and talk to them with regards to the employment condition, the working hours, and whether they're being treated fairly. So this is the role that we do. And we also explain to them their rights as workers in Australia, because once they arrive in Australia, they have the same rights as the Australian workers. So essentially explaining to them the rights as workers in Australia.
There is a report from the UN Special Rapporteur that workers under the PALM scheme are being exploited through deceptive recruitment, excessive deductions, and harassment. Are you aware of this study or heard of examples of Timorese workers being exploited in these ways?
You know, I have traveled extensively in Australia. Like I said before, I meet with the workers. They relate to me their working conditions. Yes, it is well-known cases in Australia. In fact, over the past 12 months, there has been about more than 20 reports about the working conditions and the underpayment, less working hours. So these are the ongoing issues. Nevertheless, when we relay these issues to the Australian government, which the embassy works closely with the DFAT and DUA, they take action. It just depends on who you talk to, who you visit. But if we do find that the approved employers are breaching their rules and regulations, then we do report this to the Australian government, and action has been taken as well.
Have you seen any improvements from either the Timorese and Australian governments to prevent workers from being exploited since this report was released?
There is room for improvement. There's no doubt about it. I think we've said it all along that Australia has good regulations in place, workplace relations in place. However, in terms of compliance, there's more that needs to be done. We can't just rely on, for example, Timorese workers, if they find that they're being underpaid or they're being mistreated at work, they can always report to the Fair Work Ombudsman. There is this mechanism in place where can they report unanimously. But, you know, the Timorese will never ever report this because they don't know how to navigate, because it's a complex. So this is where the embassy comes in. So we explain to them. But if something happens, if there is an underpayment, which we have helped some of the Timorese complain to the Fair Work Ombudsman, and then it gets investigated. So there are regulations in place. However, there's also complex for a migrant worker because there's a lot of steps that they have to go through in order to reach to the appropriate person.
With reports of exploitation and challenges with particular employers, how does the embassy support workers who seek to change employers or apply for other visas?
Well, if we don't actually help the workers to apply for other visas, when we find that, for example, workers have been underpaid, or shall we say, we're using the word exploitation, we don't only use, but if they've been underpaid, which is the case of a company of an employer in Jinju that the embassy now is dealing with, underpayment in terms of they've been working overtime from 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. in the morning and paying cash, and then it's only $18 per hour, and sometimes working 7 days a week. So we have compiled this case, and we have now put it through the Workfare Ombudsman for investigation. So it's in the process of investigation, and this is how we help the Tibetese workers in taking their case forward. We hope that at one stage, or in the process, the workers will get what they deserve to get in terms of their overtime payment. So this is what we've been helping. We don't help them to apply for other visas.
In international news, life-threatening emergencies were left waiting up to 2 hours for an ambulance in the Northern Territory last week, as St. John NT called a code white for the third weekend in a row. The Health Minister, Steve Edgington, said he hopes to strike a new deal with new funding for the ambulance service before the end of the year, but paramedics say the help can't come soon enough.
In the middle of the night, a 9-year-old girl in Palmerston suffering an asthma attack made to wait nearly 2 hours before receiving care. Just one of several life-threatening cases left waiting during the ambulance's code white last Friday night.
Patients will do one of 3 things. They'll get better, they'll get worse, or they'll stay the same. We need to make sure that we're checking on them and making sure that they haven't gotten worse. And thankfully, I think it's just sheer luck that hasn't happened.
It's the third week in a row St. John NT have reached a point of critical system failure.
We are putting on immediate relief at the moment, so we will call in additional crews. But unfortunately, that's placing the pressure onto our already overworked staff, that we're relying on the goodwill of our staff to come in and to perform overtime.
The ongoing crisis of resourcing comes amid timely contract negotiations between St. John NT and the Northern Territory Government. The last contract between the two organisations was signed in 2016 and expired in 2021. Since then, the terms of that agreement have been extended year after year, leading to a significant funding shortfall. Given its small population, the NT Ambulance Services funding equates to about $237 per Territorian, a little more than most jurisdictions and significantly less than others. However, we also have the most demanding population when it comes to medical emergencies, with the incident rate drastically increasing over the past 7 years. The Health Minister tight-lipped on specific measures for financial support, but says he wants the contract sorted within the next 8 months.
We hope to have a contract in place by the end of this year, and we're going to continue working with St. John's to get a very clear picture of what those demand issues are, so that we can have a fully resourced St. John, because this affects all of the families right across the Northern Territory.
With a new code white every week, a new deal can't come soon enough.
In India, one city has seen 500 ceramics factories shut as the war thousands of kilometers away cuts off the gas they depend on. The $11 billion industry that supplies tiles to the world is now paralyzed, and after a month of disruption, thousands are struggling to survive.
This is Morbi, Western India. It's the engine of the country's ceramics industry, the second largest industrial cluster of its kind in the world. But decades of growth have now been derailed. Inside Kishore Dilera's factory, the machines have stopped.
We've seen a lot of wars before, but this one really affected us.
Operations collapsed almost overnight when war in the Middle East disrupted the flow of gas.
Gas is the main material. It's what makes the ceramics hard.
India imports around 60% of its LPG, almost all of it through the Strait of Hormuz, a critical route that's effectively blocked and now at the heart of ceasefire negotiations.
If the war goes on, normal people can't afford it, and factories can't absorb the cost.
Across Morbi, more than 500 factories have shut. Hundreds of thousands of workers are affected. Hari Gupta has worked in these factories for 20 years as a kiln operator.
There's no cooking gas. Work is shut down. My kids need to go to school. I'm the only breadwinner. How will we manage?
He can't return to his village. His health won't allow it. But he also can't stay here for too much longer.
I'm pleading with God. This war must stop.
Thousands of migrant workers are leaving Morbi every day at train stations like this, bus depots, and even crammed into the back of trucks. Now, after more than a month of factories being shut, waiting for them to reopen is untenable, and going home is the only way they can survive. A distant war with consequences felt here in the lives of those who can least afford it.
The Timorese and Thai communities in Delhi have come together to celebrate the Songkran festival, marking the start of the Thai New Year. The event was filled with laughter and joy as the participants let loose and engaged in water gun battles. Rooted in tradition, the community believes the splash of water washes away bad luck for a fresh new beginning.
It's the first public celebration of the Songkran festival in Delhi. Guests and participants are welcomed in the traditional way.
This is the first year during my time that we invite the ASEAN family and also our friends from the MINEC, the Foreign Ministry and Cooperation, and also Office of the President to join us, and also, of course, the Friends of Thailand.
After the opening ceremony, guests were invited to the ritual of pouring water over a Buddha statue. Participants were also invited to a traditional water pouring ceremony.
We believe that the water can purify the bad thing that happened in the past. So we pour the water to the Buddha. It's like something that, we pay respect to the Buddha. After that, we just pay it to the family members and also friends in order to like a kind of purify what happened in the past and ask for the blessing for the present and the future.
Normally, the Songkran festival celebration takes 3 days from the 13th to the 15th of April. During the festival, participants engage in water gun battles, creating an atmosphere of joy and enthusiasm. Local communities are eager to learn about Thailand's water blessing rituals.
This is the first time I participate in the Songkran festival. I think this is a birth opportunity to learn the new culture from the other nation, which they are celebrate in Timor-Leste.
It's a great experience to celebrate this festival with other people in ASEAN. This is a great opportunity for us to get to know the culture of other countries.
Thai traditional New Year festival, Songkran, is set to become an annual event in Delhi.
We are happy to, have many people today, and we wish to do it more often in the future.
I hope that Thai people also can learn about our culture to strengthen our ties in the future.
Sharing cultural heritage and building people-to-people relations. Paulina Kintown, Amaru Hornai, RTTL World News.
Another weather with Zegedes.
Thanks, Jerry. Here is tomorrow's weather, starting with Delhi. Partly cloudy with a passing shower or two, temperatures ranging between 32 and 22. Partly cloudy and pleasant in Bokau, a high of 30 and a low of 19 degrees. Plenty of sunshine in Lauten, a high of 30 and a low of 20 degrees. Partly cloudy with a passing afternoon shower in Bovonaro, a top temperature of 30 and a low of 16. And sunshine in Aileu, temperatures ranging between 27 and 13. Now, looking abroad, mostly cloudy in Kupang, a high of 33 and a low of 22. Humid and partly cloudy in Bali with scattered showers, temperatures ranging between 33 and 25. In Jakarta, partly cloudy with a couple of showers in the afternoon, a top of 33 and a low of 24. Cool and cloudy in Seoul, scattered showers in the afternoon, a high of 21 and a low of 9 degrees. In Darwin, pleasant with intervals of clouds and sunshine, with temperatures ranging between 31 and 24 degrees. Sunny and breezy with some clouds in Sydney, a high of 27 and a low of 12 degrees. Sun through high clouds in Lisbon, with temperatures ranging between 24 and 12. Cloudy in London, a top temperature of 17 and a low of 9. Cloudy with a scattered shower in Belfast, a high of 15 and a low of just 6. That's all for now. Back to you, Jerry.
Thanks, Geddes, and thanks for joining us again on the program. RTTL World News will be back with more stories on Sunday. Bye for now.